Hey, welcome to Cowl Free Kicks. Today it is all about a fresh new drop from Nike, bringing back a retro classic from 20 years ago. It is the Nike Air Max Tailwind V. As with every pair of sneakers that I review on the channel, I will always look into 5 main categories when I review a pair of sneakers. At the end of the video, I'll give them an overall rating out of 5 stars. If you like what you see as you're going along, please do not forget to click the thumbs up like button below on your device. You can also take 2 seconds to subscribe to the channel below by clicking the little red subscribe button, and also the little notification bell that pops up next to it means you get a notification on your device every time a fresh review drops on the channel. Okay, let's kick this review off of these Nike Air Max Tailwind Vs by checking them out on feet. So these Nike Air Max Tailwind Vs have been in the cold for 20 years, brought back for their 20th anniversary by Nike. This re-release is currently available in this iron grey colourway and a second olive green colourway. I don't know if this re-release really was needed. The Nike Air Max Tailwind 4s, they were very popular, and so I think Nike have brought out the 5s just off the back of that success. But really, I don't know if this sneaker silhouette has too much of a place in today's sneaker market. There's obviously going to be a market for the shoe, don't get me wrong. I just don't think it's too easy on the eye really, and I do think it's very bland and a bit too chunky and rugged for me. Now, on the upper of the sneaker, you have a quilted ripstop rugged fabric, and it is quite rough to the touch, and that is predominantly the upper for this shoe. You've got an embroidered Nike Swoosh there. As you move around to the toe box area, you've again got that very rugged quilted ripstop fabric, some circular laces on this with some circular lace loops with 3M detailing dotted above. You've got some Air Max branding on the tongue there with embroidered Tailwind. As you move around to the other side, again, it's a mirror image. The Nike Swoosh branding there, a lot smaller than you see on a lot of Nikes these days. As you move around to the back of the sneaker, you've got this TPU detailing that comes up from the sole around the base of the heel, and you move around to the back of the heel, you've got a hardened kind of scratchy nylon fabric there, which is the makeup of this heel cup with some Air Max 3M detailing on the back of the heel. On the inside of the sneaker here, on this insole, it's actually a fluffy kind of fleecy material. That's really what this sneaker is, kind of like a warm, fleecy, snug sleeping bag kind of shoe that is made for the winter and made to be rugged. Another rugged thing about this shoe is the Air Max unit in this sole. Now you've got the Air Max TN, TN stands for tuned unit, that is the full length of the sneaker, and you can see by the pockets of air there, and in the heel as well. As you look at the back of the bottom of the sneaker at the grip, it's incredibly rugged, this grip, very thick grip, and it does feel weighty. To me, it just looks a bit too rugged and chunky and winterized. I don't really like it that much. I think you could possibly only get away with wearing these in the winter months. Next, I want to move on to their comfort. Now, I really want to put this midsole to the test to see if it is possibly as outdated as the way this sneaker looks. So the comfort you get from this Air Max unit in the midsole is average. It doesn't offer that much responsiveness, unfortunately, in the toe area where you've got these pockets of air. The rear of the sneaker does offer some nice bounce, but the problem is when you have like chunky winterized sneakers like these that have, as you can see there, a very chunky outsole, it creates really a kind of counterbalance with the midsole that you're going to get in the sneaker with this Air Max unit, and you don't really get the full benefits of feeling the comfort from the Air Max unit because the sneaker is incredibly rigid. I normally would like to be able to bend a sneaker in half because that would show that you've kind of got a nice bouncy responsive midsole, but on this sneaker it's incredibly difficult to bend, and that is really a giveaway that it's not going to offer too much comfort because it's such a rigid shoe. Comfort wise on top and the fit is absolutely spot on, absolutely perfect fit. Don't worry about going half a size up or half a size down. The extra comfort you get here from the padded foam around the heel and on the inside on the tongue is nice. It is quilted, the upper, so it is going to offer a nice kind of sleeping bag comfort for your foot, but unfortunately underneath it's just average, and I think that's because the Air Max unit these days now, compared to the other technologies out there, is a little bit dated and a little bit average. Next, I want to move on to their weight, where I want to pop this chunky sneaker on the scales to see how much they weigh. These tip the scales at 439 grams. They're a heavy sneaker. They look like a heavy sneaker and they do feel like one too. It's because of the fact that they have been winterized and the fact that they've got this chunky quilted upper, an incredibly chunky midsole and this chunky outsole as well. The materials on this are not going to lend themselves to having a lightweight shoe. They're always going to be a heavyweight sneaker. So it is kind of designed to be heavier for the winter months, but still take that into consideration when you are going to look to buy these, that you are going to be lugging around nearly 1 kilogram of sneakers on your feet. Next, I want to move on to the breathability test, where to be honest, I'm not expecting any smoke that I pump through this to escape from this quilted upper. As you can see from the breathability test, the smoke only escaped from the tongue where it separates from this quilted upper in between the lace hoops. That is the only place where the smoke's going to escape. This quilted upper is going to keep the heat in. Again, for a sneaker that's aimed at the winter, that's a good thing, that's what you want. But in terms of wearing these at any other time of the year other than in the winter where it's going to be cold, I wouldn't advise it because your feet are going to get incredibly hot and sweaty with the fact that there's so much quilted material on this upper of this sneaker. So breathability wise, they really are a bit of a letdown. But again, if you're aiming for a warm winter sneaker, you are going to get one. Next, I want to move on to their price. Now, these come in at £160. £160 for this sneaker. There's nothing that makes me think that I want to spend £160 on this shoe. Unfortunately, absolutely nothing. The recent Air Max 90 Radiant Red Infrared re-release was £130. That is a good looking shoe that's comfortable. This is a shoe that I don't think looks that good and isn't really offering that much comfort. It's heavy and it's not that breathable, so 160 is way too high for me. It should be around the 120 mark, to be honest. It's going to bring me on to my overall score for these sneakers now, and it's not looking good, unfortunately, and I can't give them any more than 2 stars because I just don't really get any excitement from this shoe at all. When they're on feet, when they're off feet, when I think about when I'd wear them, yeah, if it's snowing outside and I want to go for a walk, I could probably get away wearing these, but they're not waterproof. If it does rain, it's just going to make them even heavier and really soggy, and I'm just not a fan of that. So 2 stars I think is a very fair score for these, and really do take into account everything I've talked about before you go and buy a pair of these, because there are so many other Air Max sneakers out there that are better than these. If you've liked what you've seen today, please do, again, give the video a big thumbs up on your device. You can drop any comments below. You can also follow me on Instagram. Thanks very, very much for watching, and hope to see you again soon. Bye.